everybody, welcome. If you haven't noticed, I'm back in my usual background or setting. But it's a long story on that. Okay. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about something that I've been wanting to talk about. I was kind of nervous at first to do it because it's such a personal thing, especially giving birth to a child. A lot of people don't really know like all of the problems that women go through and what could happen, what can't happen, or what could happen and stuff like that, you know, when a woman gives birth to a child. But I'm not going to go into detail on like what's the possibilities, because there's like a lot, let's just put it that way. But for me, I'm going to talk about childbirth, or me giving birth to my daughter and what I experienced and things like that. So first of all, I want to talk about my pregnancy a little bit. I'm not going to talk about it much because it was just pretty much just normal. It was just a normal pregnancy. I did have the I guess I did have the usual morning sickness. When I first found out I was pregnant, it was like a couple of weeks, or like a week or so after I found out. I found out that, you know, after I found out I had gotten sick, I was literally really bad off. And then I guess kind of like after I got into my like second trimester, so about a week after I got into my second trimester, it just completely stopped. So, and then after that it was easy breezy. I mean, I did have like a few like pregnancy cramps. I felt like the baby kick, you know, a few cravings here and there. I did gain some weight, actually a lot, like 65 pounds. It was a lot. And you know, it wasn't that bad of a pregnancy, you know. It was really easy. I loved being pregnant. It was just all together a really good experience, or a really awesome experience or feeling. And I really like it. Would I get pregnant again? It just depends, you know. Like, I really would want my boy, but I don't know if I want to go through like all the hell that I went through while giving birth or after I gave birth. So I was in labor for 5.5 hours, which I began to have contractions about around 8:30ish on July 21st, which was my mom's birthday. And I had my daughter at 1:12 in the morning on the 22nd. My daughter made it into this world a day, like an hour and 12 minutes after my mom's birthday. Like, my mom was trying to like say, hurry up and have the baby, I want to have my grandbaby on my birthday, blah, blah, blah. But you know how mom, you know, your parents are, they're excited when their grandbaby is born or about to be born, you know, and it's their birthday. So anyway, so I was contracting and I didn't notice, I didn't realize it. I just felt like I had to poop, and it's really disgusting and really gross, and I'm sorry, but you know, this is going to be full in detail and full and grody, gross childbirth talk, okay? And I'm not going to clean it up at all. So, anywho, I felt like I was gonna poop, and I did. And then I went back and I was like hanging out in my living room watching TV, and I felt that urge again. So I went again and I peed and pooped, and you know, like, I mean, literally I sat on the toilet for like an hour. Well, going back and forth between it an hour, and I was cramping and hurting. I had a lot of back pain. My mom said that she had a lot of back labor too when she had me, but she never did with my brother. So I don't know if it's like a girl thing, like if you're carrying a girl, that's kind of a girl thing or not. I don't know. If you had boys and that happened to you, let me know, because I'm just in my head thinking it's just a girl thing. So my grandmother come in, and it was like about 10 or 10:30, and I was bawling my eyes out at this point because like I literally could not walk. I could not move. I tried to move and it would hurt 10 times worse, you know, and I was just bawling my eyes out. And my grandmother just knew. She's like, you're having the baby. Let's go. Let's get out of here. I didn't even have time to like, I didn't even at that point have any like bags packed or anything like that because I'm the worst at that, like preparing wise. So we went to pick up she called my mom. We picked them, you know, my mom and my brothers up. She called my dad on the way, you know, like she's having the baby, you know, like the typical stuff that, you know, families do when people are having babies. And so we get there and I'm sitting in the room and like they check me and I'm at like 2 centimeters and they said that I'm contracting every 8 to 10 minutes. So it could be any time. And I was asking them how long would it be. They were like, there's no telling, because women could be in, you know, in labor for 2 days sometimes, you know, it just depends on the person. Well, mine wasn't. Mine was 5.5 hours, which I was actually lucky for, but you know, no. I would never experience that part again because it hurt. It was awful. It just felt like, you know, really bad cramps times like 50. If you want to know like what contractions feel like, that is what it feels like. It's like really bad. Especially when you have back labor or back pain with it, which is back labor, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, so they wheeled me into the delivery room where I'm supposed to be delivering. I had to pee and then felt like I had to poop too, but nothing would come out. So I come back and I told the nurse that I felt like I had to push. She said, you're having a baby. And then she's like, get on the bed. And I was like, I can't make it to the bed. She's like, well, don't push until I get the doctors in here, because if I have to give birth or help you give birth, the doctors will be mad at me. So she helped me on the bed. She went and got the doctor. The doctors, like, it was like 5 doctors that like swarmed into my room like crazy. And I'm like, whoa, you know, like what the hell, you know, I'm like, whatever. And my water didn't break. And they laid her on my stomach under one of them hospital blankets, and they popped, like she was still in her fluids, and it's just, she was still in fluids and stuff like that. And they popped the sac and all that fluid, water, whatever you want to call it, all over me, all over her. It was disgusting. And then they wrapped my baby up, and I didn't know this until later that, well, I didn't realize because I was so out of it after this, that they had kept my daughter in that blanket for like 30 minutes to an hour. It was ridiculous. I didn't even know this. Like my grandmother came in and like changed her blanket because it was soaking wet. So they were more worried about me because I was passing out. My blood pressure was going low. And so they like literally was trying to worry about me so I didn't die. I was hemorrhaging. I hemorrhaged twice on the table. It was just awful. But yeah, you know, it was really bad. Like, oh no, like they busted her, you know, her, like I said, they busted her sac on me. It was disgusting. It was gross. Ugh. So I was hemorrhaging, and I forgot. I paused the video and forgot what I was saying. But I was hemorrhaging like twice. They were more worried about me because I was about to die on the table. And I mean, it was that serious. And like I woke up the second time and I had like a oxygen mask on me, and I ended up ripping it off because I like woke up and freaked out, you know? And like, yeah, it was bad. I remember like my dad and like my grandmother all telling me that it literally like I lost a lot of blood, and like it literally, like my dad described it as like a war zone, you know, with all this blood and stuff from me and everything. And he's like, I didn't realize a person could bleed that much, you know? And like the doctors were stepping in my blood of all things. And like, it was bad. And they had to give me like it's called a saddle block, so that they can like, cause my body didn't have time to actually, prepare to give birth, you know, like it just happened so sudden. So my daughter, literally when she's coming through, she had, ripped me from my uterus all the way to my butt. And I know that's disgusting too, and I'm sorry. But I told you it's going to be very graphic, me talking about childbirth. So I remember it taking them about an hour and a half to sew me up. And I couldn't hold my daughter for that hour and a half, so my mom was watching her, which was the hardest thing. I did get to hold her, you know, like, I mean, that was like the best thing in the world was when I got to hold her, like, for the very first time. I was like, oh my gosh, she's here, you know, like, I was so excited and so happy and so just all that good stuff. So after I got finished, you know, getting sewed up, feeling disgusting because I had the fluid from all on me. The nurse tried to get me to breastfeed, and I hadn't produced my milk yet. So she's like, you know, we'll wait another hour, and if not, then you can make the decision of bottle feeding her. An hour later, I still couldn't produce any milk. So I ended up putting her on formula for the moment until my boobs brought me some milk in. And they taught me how to breastfeed while I was in the hospital, which was good. Another problem that I had was I was catheterized, which is meaning that they put like a pee bag. They put this tube up you and strap a pee bag around your leg. Or, well, not really on your leg, but on the side of your bed. And I couldn't move for like 2 days, which was really crazy because a lot of like women immediately feel better. They can walk around. They're just sore, you know, from all that. But me, it literally knocked the, you know, like I couldn't walk. I couldn't, like, they wouldn't let me walk, you know. And like my muscles didn't start contracting or anything like that to kind of push the pee out. So basically they catheterized me so that I could still release, you know, the pee coming out of me. And that actually, I had to actually have that bag in for a week. I was in the hospital for 4 days, and then I had to go home with it for 3 days. And I literally, like, when I went to the doctor's office, they're like, you have this amount. I was 50 cc's below the amount. I think it was like 300 or something. I literally bawled my eyes out. I was crying to the nurse, like, I almost made it. I hope it. You know, like, I was so worried that I'm going to be stuck back up, because it's not comfortable, because they, like, it seemed like every day they were changing that tube and everything, and it was just making me so sore. They were giving me antibiotics, and they at one point they thought that they were going to have to give me a blood transfusion because I lost so much blood, but they gave me iron pills, and it literally miraculously builded it up. But I think I didn't get a shower for like 2 days afterwards. It was really disgusting, gross, because I had all that shit around, you know, on me still. It was gross, and I felt disgusting and gross, and I wanted to put normal clothes on again. You know, I was still in my nightgown. And but overall, with the whole childbirth thing, a lot of people, like, in my real life have asked me if I would do it again. Yes. But if it's as bad as it is this time, I'm stopping. I still want my boy, though, you know, like, I want a mama's boy, and then I am good to go on that. And if I don't get a boy, then I'm still stopping. I don't know. Like, I really don't know. A lot of people are like, well, if you don't, you know. But, you know, with me, the experience was awesome, and I would go through it again to meet an incredible person like my daughter. She's made me a better person, and she's made me learn what love really is, and what sacrifices that needed to be taken to have this person in my life. And she's 5 now. It's 5 years, but well, she's 5.5 now. So it's been 5.5 years since all of that, and I still remember it to a point, to a T.